welcome to the discussion section of the playthrough. Today, I'm excited to actually go on this journey because actually one of the first board games I ever played, especially in the cooperative side, was Forbidden Island. So I've always had a soft spot for Forbidden Island. So I'm glad that now we are attempting to go into space. So somehow we've gone from Tomb Raider raiding an island that's sinking into trying to get a rocket ship to go into space with Forbidden Skies.
It's just escalation, right?
Yeah,
it just keeps escalating.
Yeah, still designed by Matt Leacock of Pandemic fame, and you can feel the pandemic.
So in the fourth game,
no tin in this one.
Yeah. So in the fourth game,
Third.
No, the fourth game, the one after this, the rocket is going to crash land on an alien planet. On an island, you're going to be stuck on an island, and you have to get off the island by like building a boat or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, it's just going to be an endless loop.
It'll be an
after
endless
4
loop.
games.
And then when you get off the island, you'll find yourself in a desert.
Are we going back to a tin then? Forbidden Island was the first game I got with a tin. Also, the first board game I ever bought at Walgreens.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever bought a game at Walgreens.
No, it was Board Game Geek, the little forum.
Hot deals, man.
Yeah, hot deals.
Oh, yeah,
it was like,
hot deals.
for sure.
It was on clearance for like $8 or something. Yeah.
So I was like, I got to go check if they have it.
Yeah.
They did.
So like, and that's so our first impressions. My first impression of this game is like it feels like you guys know how much I love theme and story, and this definitely feels like an extension of the Forbidden Games world. It also feels like when I played it the first time, like this is a game that if you told me to build a game in the Forbidden world, I would do that because I'd like there's a cool spaceship that makes noises. There's magnets. There's tiling. There's the shiny copper wires going everywhere. So like, it hits all those points in my brain.
This game, every time I play it or think about it, reminds me of I think it's the Clone Wars in Star Wars where they're on Jango Fett's planet, and they're on the platform with the storm and the rain.
Oh, Geonosis.
Yeah.
Where Obi-Wan's like chasing down Jango Fett. Yeah.
Chasing down Jango Fett.
Right.
It totally feels like it because the wind is going to push you off the platform.
If you're a fan of the
everything.
Battlefront video games, that's one of the levels in it as well. And it is true. Like that's what it calls to mind when I kind of look at it as well.
Yeah. So like I've always liked it, and I like how these characters too, the character cards that they put in here. Some of these are from the other games, like your climber, your medic. I think your surveyor's even one from the other ones too, where like they keep those same characters because one of the things you mentioned in our how to play. So if you guys haven't watched the how to play yet, go check that out with the link above below. Is your starting platform is the ship from Forbidden Desert that you put together, which I kind of love it. So I'm hoping the next one will have the spaceship just like on a landing pad somewhere
on an island. Yeah, on a different planet on an island.
Like how crazy is that? We're like I'm pretty sure Forbidden Island was meant to be just a single one-off standalone game, and now they're building this like universe around it.
You say they're building a universe. It's like Easter eggs, It's like when a Pixar movie puts a little thing from another Pixar movie in it. That's what it.
Well, it feels like
But yeah,
I feel like the original players of Forbidden Island kind of graduate to a more difficult game, and that's what each game feels like to me. Like, all right, now Forbidden Island is pretty simple. By the time you get to this game, if you play on a hard level, it's pretty difficult, So,
and that's thematic with all of Matthew Leacock's games. Are like they can be accessible, but if you want to rank it to that like insane level, it will punish you. The games will punish you.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I remember playing Pandemic Legacy, and there was a point where we're like, there's no way we're going to win the next month. It's impossible. We're not going to win the next month.
Yes.
So if you guys can't tell by now, Russ and I, we really like this game. Jared, on the other hand, co-op games are probably not in your like top 3 types of genres.
No, they're not my favorite type of game. And this game to me just feels a little too simple. There's not that much going on. Like I've played some of the co-op games that I've played and I've enjoyed in the past are things like Arkham Horror. If you played Arkham Horror, there's a lot of storytelling to it. There's a lot of immersion. You feel kind of like you're, working to stop this thing. It feels like it's much more basic. You got to put the little circles out and you connect the circles. And like I said in the how to play video, it feels kind of like a 5th grade science experiment thing, where you sit in class and you take the little tin foil and you complete a circuit or whatever with a little AA battery or 9-volt battery
I'd
or
like
something.
to tell you I did the LED complete a circuit when I was in 3rd grade.
I think the difference with these games, and I throw Pandemic in there too, is compared to what you're talking about. I think these co-op games are more of a puzzle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you don't like kind of those more puzzly games.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I mean, this
puzzly
definitely
games.
feels like a puzzle. You have a tendency to get the alpha gamers, and I think I don't mind it because I think I turn into that person, which is probably
one
annoying for
of
those I
the
play
one of
with,
the
but-
lines in the rule book basically encouraged alpha gaming a little bit. It was like, if somebody else has a better idea about where you should put your tile, they should tell you. That's just one person playing the whole game by themselves, it sounds like.
Yeah, and so for people at home who aren't familiar with that term alpha gamer, it's usually, I think the other way people call them are table captains. It's usually that
Quarterbacks is another one.
Yeah, one of those players who are like, okay, we all should do this, this, and this, and just go through that plan.
And
right?
lots of times, like in a game like this where everything is open, so like I'll have certain tiles and they'll just be sitting in front of me so everyone will know. Alpha gamers, the really intense ones, will be like, okay, so on your turn you're going to do this, on your turn you're going to do this, on your turn you're going to do this, and then on my turn I'm going to do this and we'll win. And it's like, well, the other players may not feel like they're playing the game as much. And that can happen in any co-op game, but games like this where all of the knowledge is public.
Right. Well, I think
tends
games like this
make it-
and the Pandemics are you can't really approach them like a game where everybody takes a move. It is that puzzle. I really enjoy the games, but it's that puzzle where we're working together, even if it ends up being like an alpha gamer where it's like doesn't really matter whose turn it is, but we're working together to solve that puzzle. I enjoy that.
Yeah, and
You could really see it as like a team building exercise more than playing a board game. If that helps you understand that's this type of game.
Yeah. And like my favorite times playing, especially the Forbidden Island games, are actually not with my regular game groups because you kind of know each other's tendencies and stuff by that point. I love pulling this out when it's kind of a new group. You don't know their skill levels or stuff, and no one's ever heard of it. That like first play when everybody's kind of just discovering and how to do everything is one of like my favorite times to play these games because it minimizes anybody who's a table captain, right? When you're playing like that. And
when I play with
sure.
those kind of groups, like with youth groups that I'll play with, I'll tend to sit back, even if they're making what I would consider a wrong decision, and be like, "Sure, we want to do that," and then they're like, "I don't know, do we?"
And you
then
know,
it
just
ends
go
up
with it,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's fun. For one of our playthroughs with this, one of my favorite moments of playing that game was actually when we were about to win it, and then I think your brother saw that it could be possible, but not everybody else saw it quite yet.
Yeah.
And then like it kind of grew. Like he saw it, then Russ was like, I think we can win it this turn. But you and me were like, what? But then slowly we're like seeing the pieces like, oh yeah, we could totally win the game this turn.
And that right there is exactly like what pushes me away from games like this, and what draws people like my brother in is he's very much a puzzle solver. He subscribes to puzzle magazines, for goodness sakes. Like I don't even know those were a thing, but he gets like his monthly puzzle magazine. I don't care about that kind of thing. I'm not sitting there like playing through them all.
See,
I play
I
board
love
games
that
because
about these
I want to
games,
feel like I'm getting on a spaceship, and this game is a very minimalist game. It doesn't take up a lot of space.
Right.
There's not a lot of components. It is a puzzle game, and so that doesn't draw me into it. But I know there's so many people out there who really like that style of game, and if you do, this is probably for you.
Yeah,
Does the ship lighting up at least make you feel happy?
No,
the other thing I like,
I don't even like that at all.
one thing I love about these games that Matt Leacock does is the asymmetric characters, whether it's Pandemics or the Forbidden series. Like
They all have
you
their own
need
ability.
to use the abilities.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you go through thinking, oh, we'll just like they're kind of built, especially as you get the higher levels. You must use those abilities if you want to win.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that. You kind of think, oh well, this ability doesn't look that good. Once per turn, you may, do the wire action for free. That's not going to come up, but it always does.
You'll get to that point,
make
like,
sure you
crap,
use it.
I need that extra move. I'm like, wait a minute, I can do it.
So one of the things that I really enjoyed about the last time we played this, and again, this kind of shows a little bit of my personality when we play these games.
You like us to lose, don't
I
you?
do. I do, and that's exactly what I was going to say. We were all like on the pad, and we were waiting for one other person. We're like, on your turn, you move to the pad, and then we'll play this wire, and we'll win. And the turn before that, the wind came and blew everyone off of the thing and like dropped a bunch of people's ropes down. And we're like, and everyone's got like one rope left. And it's just like, depends on what the cards come out. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I hope we lose. Man, I hope we lose. And maybe it's like, I don't like the alpha gaming that sometimes happens because I feel like it takes me out of the game. And I'm just like, no, I want these people's plans to get messed up. I want them to lose. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But like when we play games like this, I kind of get excited when we're about to lose.
Will it make you feel better if we start at 5 next time?
I mean, I don't know. I don't disagree with that because I actually like the ratio of like cooperative games. You win 1 out of 4 times, so I get that too. But I love the difficult puzzles, and I feel like this. And there's a lot of anxiety with these Forbidden Island games. Like you can be in total control and be like, if we flip over the next card, it's going to cause a chain reaction. We're going to die.
Yeah, this weather deck is
for
just
sure.
Always like,
You'll be like,
you'll be all
two
safe,
turns later,
and then the
you're
wind
like,
blows.
oh my
You
gosh.
all blow into some like wire zone, and then lightning
And then
strikes, and
you're
everyone
just like,
loses. And then lightning strikes again. Everyone loses 2 hearts. I do like that about it. And one thing that I don't like is when you play a game like that and you just cruise through it, and it feels like you didn't really struggle with it at all, because then I felt like I wasted my time playing the game because the challenge and the fun wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And this game, I will admit, has that challenging feel to it. I mean, we played on normal difficulty last time, and it was close. So I couldn't even imagine how hard Elite or Legendary would really be with this game.
Yeah. As much as I really enjoy the game, it does have, I don't know if it's the components. Components are nice. Like, they're good, but for some reason I feel like I'm playing with toys.
that's what I like about it, though. That's
This is a toy.
I know, but
Like,
that looks like something I would play with my kids, young kids, and not bust out with a group of gaming adults.
Are you guys calling me immature? You have Reef.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that's,
hey, listen.
that's
I'm not saying, but I fear that I'm going to lose this rocket ship in my kid's play chest and not like somewhere else.
You could still play the game without the rocket.
No, you can't.
It's not as cool. It is not cool. You don't have the lights and sounds, Jared. It's not as cool.
It does nothing. It adds nothing to the game other than the aesthetic of seeing the rocket.
What is wrong with you? Look, what other game gives you this? This sense of,
That's a short one. You need a long one.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm pretty sure I heard these same sound effects from like a bunch of toys back in the 80s or something.
So we needed a deluxe version that has like actual platforms, like 3D platforms, and then an actual rocket ship that, like,
now when I was a kid, I liked to play
like
with
one of those.
way to go, Kevin.
CO2 cartridge rocket ship.
That's not going to take
See,
out an hour.
I used to be into model rockets, and I was like, no, we got some shops around here that sell model rockets.
Yeah.
Stick like an A engine in there, and that thing's supposed to go like 10,000 feet or something. Not 10,000 feet,
sweet.
but like 700 feet or something.
That'd be
like
awesome.
That.
That'd
Right?
really.
You have to play it
make feel like you
outdoors.
win.
Yeah.
You could make a giant version of this game with where you play outside, and then you have like big like.
That's going to be at Origins.
And then when you put it, and then when you complete the connection, it would actually launch a rocket up into the sky with like parachute and everything. It'd look
Kind
pretty.
of seems like it'd be cool to do for a like.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Who
We
in
could
the
do our
world would ever
YouTube
buy
video of
that?
that.
Who in
Right.
the in the world would ever buy a giant version of?
Oh
any
no,
game?
You'd have to make it. You'd absolutely have to make it yourself.
We could make
Be
it.
a lot of copper
come on.
wiring involved.
What's wrong with that? We can do that.
Well, we could do it with just other things, and then when we, oh jeez,
we'll do it like that. We'll do it like that.
You can just light a match or something instead.
No, if we're gonna do it giant size, I will totally wide.
Well,
you know I will.
Have you ever seen like the way model rockets actually work? Is they have two little metal prongs, and then you complete the circuit, and it ignites the rocket and launches
what you
it.
mean complete the circuit. This is just toys.
This is an electrical circuit, man.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool.
These are the kind of
idea.
nerd science toys that people like Kevin played with as a kid.
And
Hey, this is one of the
Whatever.
this is one of the science games that's not too bad though.
It is one of those games that if you're like a elementary school teacher or something, you could easily
would
have it
be-
in your class
Yeah.
to use as like a club to teach kids about stuff. And there's a handful of games that really fit that niche well. This, Evolution, what was that other one that you were thinking of that you talk about it all the time? I can't remember. But it's one of those science-y themed games.
I think our next game should be Cytosis then.
No, it shouldn't. That's to teach high school students or college students.
Cytosis
and
isn't
it's
a
boring.
bad game, but gosh, it feels heavy. Especially when Kevin's the one teaching
The
us.
problem is you had a professional scientist teach you how to do it. So
Yeah, don't.
that was
No
but
good.
I did learn from that teaching. So when I taught all my cousins how to play, I didn't go that heavy into it. So
Maybe
I
I'd
think
like
your brother would like Cytosis. The more I think
Oh,
about it,
absolutely.
because he was excited about subatomic when he played.
He's
that.
a nuclear
Subatomic was fun.
physicist. Of course, he was excited about subatomic. The next one might be better because it should be space themed, right? Like the next Forbidden
What do you
game.
mean? Isn't this space themed?
No, they're in the sky. It's like
they're not
a
in space
floating-
yet. Like
yeah.
it ends with the space theme. No, the next one's gonna be in space.
But you're on a platform in space.
No, you're in space.
no.
You're still in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
yeah. You're
yeah.
just
It's like a
floating in
weather
the atmosphere.
station.
Yeah.
You're on like a weather station in the clouds.
These aliens, remember in the first Forbidden Islands, these aliens had artifacts that could control the weather.
Are these
So-
aliens?
No, those are you. But the structures and stuff were built off aliens that had the power to control the weather, and that's why you were originally.
So the
Why aren't
next
they
game's
making?
gonna be
Why
called
aren't they
Forbidden
making
Stars?
Why aren't they making a movie based on these board games instead of Catan?
Let's not go there.
Would you watch a movie based on the Forbidden series?
Yeah, probably.
So the next one's going to be called Forbidden Stars.
You can make a Netflix series out of it.
I don't know. I need to play that first.
If the next one is called Forbidden Stars, then we're not doing a video on it.
We don't want to upset any listeners.
I don't want to let people. I don't want to upset our viewers by telling what I think of that game.
So Jared, how do you feel about the rule book with this?
The rulebook is actually very well done.
You think after 2 games they have that down, right?
I mean, dude, you never know. You really just never know. The rule book is pretty solid. We learned out of it, and it really took me 10 minutes to read it and explain
And
everything.
20 minutes to explain it to us.
You know what?
I'm just kidding.
Well, 20 minutes to explain it because Russ was here, and he's got the attention
Of a gerbil.
of a dog in a park full of squirrels.
Hey, Kevin and I got it. We've played these Forbidden
Yeah, so if
games.
you've actually played a Forbidden game before, picking up the rules of this is pretty easy because they're very similar to the other ones with a few minor tweaks, and you're ready to go, which I really like about it. It's weird to play these smaller games, right? Because we're so used to playing those bigger games that are table hogs. And then we set this up.
I love table hogs, man, and I look at this
feels
and I'm
very
like,
small.
I could play this on a card table or a nightstand, and everything would fit.
I do remember when I first got the first Forbidden Island, I'm like, am I going to be able to fit this on a table? And now it's like, wow, this thing is like tiny.
I know.
I know you compare this to the Sidereal Confluence we played the other day. Man, that thing's a table.
This would be
is
one
like
player.
a little section.
Yeah.
So, so we've kind of heard what Jared likes. Anything you don't like about this, Russ?
For me, it's just the components are good, but the cheesiness of the components. I don't know what I expect. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's really
It really
fun.
does feel like a puzzle because of the components in a part. Because you just got these little pieces and you move them around on these hex tiles. There's not a lot going on with the theme.
The thing that will throw a lot of people off, especially if this is kind of your intro game, is that component wise, like in terms of materials and stuff, they picked really good materials for all of these. Like all these cards, they don't feel flimsy. They have that satin finish to
The
them.
sliders aren't like they are in Betrayal or anything where they're going to fall off your card.
I haven't.
And the cardboard's pretty thick too
Yeah.
for these pieces where you don't feel like they're going to fall apart.
Yeah, it's
on
good.
So,
good quality.
do you like
components.
that it's in a cardboard box, or would you prefer the tin?
Oh, honestly, that's my biggest negative about this is that it's not in a tin that's the same size as the other one, so you could stack them all
So
together.
no, I don't like the tin per se, but I
Since you
don't
got
like
two
that
of
they
them now,
went
yeah.
away
Yeah.
from the tin.
Like, because the previous ones are in tins that are exactly the same size of each other that you can stack on top of each other. This one's a bigger box, as you guys can see back here. And I was a little annoyed about that, but I felt better when we opened it up and I saw there were magnets, and I'm like, okay, I guess they used the metal for the capacitors instead of putting them on the outside. I'll be okay with that. And it has this cool rocket ship, which I know you guys think is for a 2-year-old, but I may mentally be a 2-year-old, so it's okay.
I mean, it's cool that when you complete the circuit,
I was
lights
really-
up.
You said you didn't like it, but
I was really
It's just
excited
weird
about
that
it
board
when
game.
I remember you and I talked about when the teaser came out, Kevin. We were all excited because it said Forbidden Sky, and that's all it said. And it was like, oh, so exciting. And it lost kind of some of the fanfare when it came out. Some, people didn't like it as much as they'd liked. But I think it's right on par with the other ones. If you like the other ones, you'll like this. I wouldn't don't expect something
too different from
don't expect something completely different, and you'll be okay. I mean, it's
I actually think that would be a distraction from me, because that's what I liked about the games is that each game the gameplay is really similar, but they're unique enough between each of them that I would want to play them separately.
And it is nice to have that out there where if you played Forbidden Island and you've decided I really like Forbidden Island, or this is a game that my group really enjoys, but we're just tired of playing it. We've played it to death. It's good that there are other games that are similar, but not exactly the same. Some people really like that. And if you like puzzly games and if your group likes to complete puzzles as a team, this is a great game for your group.
Yeah, and I feel like, and part of it is because the Forbidden series has always been on my list of kind of intro to
Absolutely,
gamers,
yes, it's a great intro game.
Which I love now that they have all these different themes that I can, trick a non-gamer to play and find one that would fit their theme that they like. I'm like, oh, you like Mad Max Fury Road? Here, let's play Forbidden Desert. You're more of that Indiana Jones kind of feel, cave dweller. Let's go play Forbidden Island. If you are more kind of like the Sky Captain, Day of Tomorrow, steampunk.
Star Wars. It's
Star
Star Wars. You're on the. I can see Django.
This
right
is
there.
Slave One. This is Jango Fett's ship.
Yep. All right. So before we go, any last words on the game?
No, I've said pretty much everything I think about the game. Again, if this is your speed, if this is what your game group likes, I highly recommend it. I don't personally enjoy it, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game.
All right.
So you like puzzles.
Yeah, puzzles are great. If you guys like blinking lights and shiny things, both of you guys should know that you could fool me with tinfoil in the sun on a good day.
But there's plenty of tinfoil and blinky lights in this game.
that it makes my itch. So again, if you're looking for a good beginner game and you know somebody who kind of likes more steampunky type theme things, this may be something you want to try and play. So we also want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this? Do you think they should have just stopped at Forbidden Island?
Do you think they should keep going?
Yeah,
Keep going.
Or what are your ideas on what could be next? We discussed that they may land on a planet, because I really think that's what's
Forbidden
gonna happen.
Planet.
But
They should just release another copy of Forbidden Island with the spaceship on
Landing on it.
on the island somewhere as like an Easter egg, and then you just
space.
play them in a circle. It's like those old Nintendo games where you play the game through, you beat the bad guy, you rescue the princess, you're escaping with the princess, she gets kidnapped, you do it all over again, and just ramp up the difficulty every time, and it never ends. That's what they should do with this one.
Seems like a good model. Still going on, man. So, yeah, we want to hear from you guys. Leave them in the comments below or shoot us an email at theplaythru@ktdata.net. And it's THRU, like in drive-thru. Check out theplaythru.net for our past episodes, places to subscribe. So you automatically get these episodes. We have one more episode in 2018, and then 2019 starts, and we are going to start amping up our production where it's going to be weekly. We won't be featuring a game weekly, but we're going to be introducing some more segments and stuff. So if you have any suggestions on what you want us to talk about for some of those segments, shoot that in too. And make sure you go watch this guy's beautiful face teach you how to play Forbidden Skies, where he probably spent most of the time. Don't say Forbidden Stars. Don't say Forbidden Stars.
Also, check in with us on Fridays. We sometimes are streaming our gameplays.
Yeah,
of games we might be
once
talking
the
about.
holidays settle down, it's a
Yeah.
little
2019. Check us out on a Fridays.
Yeah, you'll be able to check that out. And if you guys are like me, who like a little bit of the techie stuff too, make sure you pay attention to ktdata.net, because one of the things I do at the beginning of every single year is to go to Las Vegas for a week for the Consumer Electronics Show and to see all the good tech goodies that I won't be able to afford or see in a store for 2 years. So, guys, thank you so much, and we will see all of you guys next time on The Play.